Happy holidays, ho, ho, ho. Welcome to the True Sports Card Show. I'm Whitey Gleason with a peek at today's lineup card for you. Let's see what we got. We got word of a major big money pull involving a local player. We've got a very interesting update on Topps Chrome basketball. And we'll also have the latest on all the holiday goodies that Santa has already brought to True Sports Cards. Ho, ho, ho. But first things first here. He just survived a harrowing trip through the wicked fog down to LA and back to visit the PSA people. He's got lots of news on that. Fresh off a dazzling performance on Sactown Sports yesterday, in which he remembered to turn his own mic on 32% of the time. Cameron Pilati, Mr. True Sports Cards.
Again, they would never have known that had you just kept your mouth quiet and not mentioned it. But thanks again for saying that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, well, that's a pretty good percentage for you.
I got to share with you, my friend from a long time and one of the groomsmen at my wedding, Tay Baishiki, is listening to us all the way from Dublin.
Wow.
California.
Yeah,
not
I figured.
Ireland. Yeah, he's listening. So
that's tremendous.
I didn't know we could reach there.
Big signal.
It's a little fuzzy, but he can hear us. So shout out Tay. What's up? Thanks for listening, Tay.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, so now we're up to 7 listeners.
We'll take everyone.
We've got Peg Junk in the YouTube chat, too. As always, great to talk to Peg Junk, among other people. We've got a lot to talk about today, and I think a significant part of it's going to be part of the PSA issues that have been going on. But lead the way, Whitey. Point guard us up.
Well, I think, we need to start there with...
I'm going to have a cookie while you're doing this.
Okay.
If you don't mind.
Good luck with that cookie.
Don't ask me questions while I'm eating.
I want to ask you where you got the cookie, but I know it's been here a while, so... I'll pass.
What's a while? This is coming from a guy that just ate those peanut butter crackers. Those were made in 2023, but they have an expiration date of like 2030.
They're very fresh.
Well, you ate them 7 years before they expired, so
yeah, they were good.
Keep in mind that they were made 3 years ago, but
that's fine.
That's preservatives for you.
Yeah, take me at least 3 years to digest it. The PSA conversation. What is going on with PSA? Peg Junk. You mentioned Peg Junk. Mm-hmm. Thoughts on PSA buyback grade adjustment? Let's start, can we, with the buyback?
This is a big boy.
Basketball, according to Topps now, they are going to have a buyback MVP program for Topps Chrome basketball. That's something that I believe you had suggested they might do last week.
If you think about this, it's going to happen no matter what, because we knew it was going to happen. We were just waiting for the announcement. If you take a look and see baseball, they've done it now for the last 3 years with the buyback. And again, for those of you that don't know what a buyback is, it's where you pull that card of the winner of that MVP as an example.
Which nobody knows until they announce it.
They announce it. But you have a fairly good idea, right? When we are looking at Shohei Ohtani in September, his body of work over the year, you're like, this guy's going to be the runaway MVP for NL. And then it was a Judge and Cal Raleigh who was going to win the MVP for the American League. So people started hoarding away Ohtani cards and Judge cards and Raleigh cards, but Raleigh didn't have anything until update, so it didn't really matter. So they were hoarding the Judge cards with the anticipation that they were going to be winning the MVP. When you have those cards, the MVP base, the MVP refractors and numbered, you can bring them to a card shop like mine.
There is no card shop like yours.
That is correct.
How about it?
Yes, all about us. And you bring them to our shop, and we would redeem store credit for $20 for base. So any Judge or any Ohtani, and that goes into effect immediately after it's been announced. So when Judge and Ohtani were announced as MVPs, the very next day we were able to start redeeming some of those cards for $20 for base, $40 for refractors, all the way up to $200 for this year's version of that card. Additionally, Topps added another wrinkle to it. Last year's winners, who were Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani, they reinserted refractors that were non-numbered back into the 2025 product from 24, and they numbered the refractors to 199, put a little special stamp on them, and those cards were worth even more. So if you pull that card and you redeemed it, the Ohtani was worth $600 store credit, and the Judge was worth $400 store credit.
Yeah, I remember you mentioned that some people had been hoarding the cards of the likely MVPs, and I've seen stories on social media of people just cashing in on their buybacks and their store credit because people have been preparing for this. You know, it's cool if you have one to take in, but some people made a lot of money on that. I'm talking about collectors.
Yes.
Just bringing stuff in with stacks of, here's my Otanis and my Judge stuff.
I've had that. There was a guy that redeemed 48 of them to me.
48?
Yeah, in one shot. And it's a straight 1-for-1. So I give out $20 in store credit. Topps redeems it back to me for $20 to reimburse me. So we still have the margins that we normally carry. The only difference is that the $20 that's spent today, I don't get until 5 or 6 weeks after I submit it.
What do you do with the cards?
I put them in the safe. It's just like holding a $20 bill. So, I have to redeem them later.
Okay.
Topps verifies that, and then they send me a wire for the reimbursement of the $20. So, it's a good problem to have. It stimulates our traffic in through the store. So
You're feeling those cookies, aren't you?
You caught me on that one, huh? Again, you guys are the best at outing me. Like, we're on radio, and unless you're watching on YouTube, you don't see me. You just only hear me. So when I have
you were struggling there. I was giving you a little break.
I was trying to just work through that sentence, and I'm all and you're like, ha ha, look at him go. He's struggling. He's swallowing on chocolate chip cookies. I was fine, okay?
Okay, good.
Stop outing me on these.
You know how I worry about you.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. We'll talk about that a little bit later. So with this buyback program, we saw that happen with UFC. UFC had this, I can't remember the two fighters, but I know Alex Pereira was one of them. So whoever won that, it was Max Holloway and somebody else. And when Max Holloway won, you got the redemption. Same type of thing, a buyback. I know that... So it was highly likely when Topps Chrome basketball comes out that they would be doing something like that. You're saying that Topps Chrome basketball update is where they're going to release. I'm asking Whitey. So you're saying it's the update product for Topps Chrome basketball when that comes out that's going to be the redemption?
It's not entirely clear to me, I'll be honest with you. It seems like it was
too
separate
early.
announcements.
Yeah. It's so early.
I don't understand how they can have a basketball update product because it's all the same people other than maybe
rookies,
3 guys that come up from G League or a couple rookies.
Yeah, or maybe people that got traded, so who knows how big that would be, or maybe they're just doing variations of the of players. But at any rate, it's highly likely that they're going to have the patch that they've already disclosed that they're going to have that first time ever on court, similar to the MLB debut patch. They're having the NBA debut patch. They know that we're having that. So there'll be some chases in there.
This is from Topps. This is what they say officially. When the 26th NBA MVP is announced at the end of the season, you'll be able to trade in your Topps Chrome base cards and parallels of that player at your local participating hobby shop for store credit. So it does not say Chrome update. It says if the MVP is not in Topps Chrome, their Topps Chrome update card will be eligible instead.
Okay.
That's the plan.
So with that said, we know
Jokic.
that it's probably gonna be whoever the MVP is. I don't know how Jokic
And you only have
doesn't
one
win.
MVP in basketball, obviously. Is
Correct.
In baseball, you got a couple.
But they may do something like Rookie of the Year. They may do, they call the shots, so whatever they end up doing. But at minimum, you figure it's going to be MVP. And I don't know how Jokic isn't getting it at this point. They played the Kings the other night. I was watching the stats as he was shooting a free throw. They put the crown at the bottom, showed his stats. He's number 1 in rebounding, number 1 in assists, and he's averaging like 30 points a game. To a team that's has a really good record. The only thing I could see is if Shea gets it, because the guy is sitting fourth quarters. They're 24-1. Like,
he says, we want the record.
It's historic what they're doing right now. So they've tied the Warriors for the greatest start in NBA history for a season at 24 wins and 1 loss. So if Shea is sitting fourth quarters out, still averaging 30 a game, the team, let's say, loses 5 games the entire year, then you got to give it to a guy like Shea.
Yeah.
So we'll see when that product comes out. When they have the buyback announced, start hoarding those cards.
People are also wondering here, and I know we alluded to this. Well, I think that might have been before the show. Psycho Bulbasaur. Did you see the guy who sent an email complaining about his PSA 9, and they changed 2 of them to 10?
There's more than that.
Big.
This is a bigger scenario. So
you want to get into that now?
We could do it, or we could do a little housekeeping first and then go into. This is probably a 20-minute conversation, but it's important that we talk about this because as a PSA authorized dealer, I have a responsibility to talk the truth. And one thing that I'll tell you that as you know, everybody, we do not run commercials on this show. We're straight through. And the only commercial is commercial to my business, us talking about it. But the reason I bring that up is because we're not compromised. I'm not paid by another company or getting money from another company, so I could say what I want. Freedom of speech doesn't mean freedom of consequences. If I say something that's going to stub my own toe, then so be it. But this PSA thing is a pretty big deal, so we want to talk about that. And then I want to also talk about the alternative to PSA if that's what you want to do. Mm-hmm. So there's a grading scandal going on right now.
Potentially,
exactly. Let's get into it.
Yeah.
So the story is that for those of you that don't know, when you submit cards to PSA, whether it's through us or on your own, PSA will pop the grades. There's a process at 1 through 8 steps, right? And it moves through the process. And we at True Sports Cards have a thing called Slab Tracker. We allow you, we pipe into the PSA system. We give you a submission number. And when you have that submission number, you on your own can track where it is during the process. And the reason why we did that is we didn't want to have the phone calls constantly. Can you tell me where my card is? Can you tell me where my card is? And I'm not upset at the people for wanting to know. That's a fair question. It just takes so much, out of us, because then we have to stop what we're doing. We have to go check and, all this stuff. So I pay for a service that allows the customer to be able to check on their own.
This is not contributing to the conversation at all, but Slab Tracker sounds like a monster truck to me. And now there's Gravedigger against Slab Tracker.
Sunday.
Yes,
Kids are jewel free.
Slab Tracker.
That's correct.
Yes.
That's exactly how we say it.
Yeah.
Did you check your Slab Tracker?
But this PSA offering to buy stuff that
it happens in phase 8. Yes.
That's new.
It's been about a year.
Yeah. We talked about that.
In phase 8. So what they do is they'll select a certain amount of cards that they have interest in, and there's massive conflicts of interest here, right? So let's just say, what is it that? Let's say that there's an order of 20 cards that you submitted. And of the 20 cards, PSA says, we have interest in these 6. And we're going to make an offer. Here's the offer. Here's the dollars we're offering you. And sometimes it's as low as 60%. It could be as high as 90%. I guess it's depending on the type of card or whatever. I don't know their algorithms as to why they offer some more or less of a percentage of value. I don't know why. But you have 24 hours to decide. Basically, they have a countdown. You want to do it? We'll cash you out. What they're trying to do is figure out, number one, when they make an offer, they're not worried about a comp being too high or too low after they make the offer. So, if they left the offer open for 7 days, a lot of things can happen.
Yeah.
It could go up, the card could go up or down. So the offer for what we're offering is what it's worth right this second. And so if you don't make that decision within 24 hours, they just default and ship you your cards.
And I will point this out, you instantly, when this first became their policy a year ago, whenever it was, you pointed out the clear potential conflict of interest.
Because we don't know who's funding this purchase. I think if they said, here's a pool of people that are buying using our platform to buy, and they started naming companies or people that were buying. Okay, you don't have to tell me who's buying this specific card, but just tell me who the pool is.
Right. Yeah,
it's this company, it's that company, it's this company, it's this person, and then you go, okay, these are the 19 people that are or companies that are buying through this program.
Yeah, but and also the clear conflict of interest is, look, we may buy this from you based on the grade we give it. So we're determining the price.
There's the conflict of interest.
Yeah.
So this is where the controversy happened this week. So a guy, and again, this is all allegedly. I don't know the person, but it's been well documented throughout the internet right now.
He's claiming this happened, and
yes.
He says he has proof.
Yes, and PSA has, to my knowledge, done nothing to dispel this.
They have not addressed it at all.
Have not addressed it that I've seen. Maybe it's done somewhere. I haven't seen it. So the offer was on 2 Pokemon cards that were PSA 9s. And so the person goes, seems fair. I'll take the offer. So he accepts the offers and he gets paid for them. Well, for some reason, we all can do it. For some reason, this particular guy said, let me just check the serial numbers. I wonder where they're going to end up going, because once they purchase them, they've got to go back in the world somewhere. So I'll check to see what that is. He checks the serial numbers on his PSA 9s, and lo and behold, they're now PSA 10s.
What?
So he's like, wait a minute, what? I thought I was selling 9s. If this guy is a collector and he only wants to collect 10s, he may have just sold cards that he would have normally kept. Or, more likely, hey, you paid me a percentage on a 9 and now you made it a 10.
Right.
Do I get the difference in percentages as well?
Right.
If you paid me 80% on a 9, shouldn't I get 80% on
Apparently
a 10?
not, because he wouldn't have known they were 10s unless he bothered to look it up.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And this all happened last week, and I just happened to be at PSA this week on Monday.
So you may be involved in this.
Did you see me leave with any cards? Please. And just to address it, I was down there dropping off some very important PSA DNA autograph stuff. We can talk about it because, Whitey, one of them was yours. And then also I had some very expensive cards to drop off. So I didn't feel comfortable throwing them through the mail, so I just went ahead and drove down there. There was a valuation of a $15,000 Barry Sanders, Jahmyr Gibbs, 1/1 dual shield auto. That was one of many cards that I dropped off. I didn't want to throw that through the mail, so I thought, let me just drive it, make the effort to do that through the fog and through the peril of getting down there. Yeah, we'll talk about that soon. So at any rate, this is a scandal. The question then becomes, well, are they manipulating card purchases?
It raises a ton of questions, as you said, none of which PSA is actually, to our knowledge, addressed yet.
Correct, and that's the real problem. Is where's the transparency in this? You paid me. It's as if I said, "Oh, all these cards are worthless. I'll give you this much for it," and then you find out that, whoa, he lied, and now they're from the beginning. This is a different animal. This is a big one. And for the employees that I know and the friends that I have at PSA, they were like, why would we risk this? It's a $1 billion company, and they're right if it's a one-timey, right? But we don't know the scale of potentially how big this could be or how often it's happened, and that's the real
And it's exactly what a lot of people instantly, when they heard about this, said, wow, this could happen. Oh, no, it'll be fine. And then, I'm sure the people you talk to at PSA are, they're above board and everything, but a card doesn't just magically on its own. Whoops, now it's a 10. We don't know what happened.
But here's the problem, okay? So many people will overlook ethics for the dollar. That's the truth, okay? And I'm not talking about PSA. I'm talking about the customers. I'm talking about the people that are in the hobby, okay? So they come into my store, I can't believe this. They did this. This is BS and blah, 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 right? I go, you're right. We should have an alternative, which I'm about to give you in a second. Why don't we send through this company? Nah, I mean, the PSA stuff is worth more, so I brought 7 cards in for submission. To where? PSA. The one that you spent the last half an hour complaining about? Yeah. Okay.
What else am I going to do, Emery?
Yeah.
Where else am I going to go?
So that's the part where people just go, yeah, you know, this is crazy. We can't stand for it. After this sub, it's like, wait a minute. If you really want to stand on business, stand on morals, then vote with your pocketbook and say, I'm not going to do this anymore. But they won't, because they just choose not to, because the industry is like, well, what are we going to do?
PSA grades are worth more.
And if that's what you decide is worth it to you versus the compromise of your feelings about how you feel about a company, then that's up to you. I have people that will drive past other card shops to come to mine because they feel more comfortable at my shop than going somewhere else. And they're willing to drive farther, pay maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. But the point of it is that they've chosen a brand. What I don't expect them to do is choose my brand and hate me at the same time, right? They'll just go to the other card shop. With the PSA situation, they're like, I hate submitting to them. It takes too long. It's too expensive. There's no transparency. And I'm going to go ahead and still submit to them. It's like, well, you know what? Just shut up then. Don't complain, because you have every right to not do that. You could submit through another company. You could pay more to have it come back faster. There's a lot of ways for you not to feel this angst.
Well, but people do feel, and I haven't graded a lot, but I've graded some. People feel like I don't really have a choice. And yeah, you're right, Emron. I would love to be able to do something about it, but I don't feel that I have a viable option. So you're telling me I do have one?
You have an option. Whether it's viable or not is going to depend on the consumer. So the other secondary company that we use is CGC. Now, for those of you that are not familiar with CGC, let me give you a quick history. They've been in the collectibles grading space for a long time, 20 plus years, mainly in comic books, magazines, encapsulation. So they grade the magazines and they put them in a hard sealed case. and then also coins. So they've been around for a long time. PSA has been known to grade sports cards, Pokemon, trading card games. That's their bread and butter. But they also do coins. They also do encapsulation of autographs. So they have side hustles to their main business, which is grading cards. CGC's side hustle has been sports cards. They've been not known for that, but they're making a massive commitment to sports cards. Now, if you look at the grading numbers, if you go to gemrate.com, they show you how many cards are being graded by each company. And in this case, the company is like PSA last month had over 1.7 million cards submitted to them. Okay. And CGC had a little under 600,000 in a solid number 2. So if you figure that PSA has about 80% of the market, 82% of the market, the second most in the market is CGC. Now, they're a big enough company. Our friend Jimmy Spence, the owner of James Spence Authentication, has been on our show several times. Maybe not since you've come on as co-host, but before he has.
Once I came on, he's like, I'm out.
He's like this.
I want no part of that.
No. So CGC bought JSA. You know, that's a 9-figure deal to buy a company like that. So they're not small potatoes. They're a very big company. So I was on the phone with them yesterday with their higher ups, and they said, you know, Emron, you're one of the voices there in Northern California. We would love to see more CGC cards under sports. And I said, you know, I'll be willing to make some sort of that commitment. So we're looking towards doing some deal together before the end of the year and getting more cards in here, because I can tell you that the CGC slabs, just the physical nature of them, are so much better than the PSA brittle slabs.
I'm looking at some of them here,
It's just about a gap of value. You know, and so what ends up happening is, let's just say that, I don't know what the exact number is, but I'll just make up a number. Let's say that if a card in a PSA 10 is worth 100, a CGC 10 would be sold at $80 instead of 100. That gap is what prevents people from saying, I want to use it.
Yeah.
However, there's no upgrade charge. So when you send in a Michael Jordan PSA to PSA for an 86 Fleer Jordan, my favorite card in history, right? Just from the jump, you're paying $300 to get that autograph, to get that encapsulated and graded. Okay. With CGC, it's I think it's like $50. And the reason why is because once it's a certain value for upchart for the next tier, but CGC starts at $18 with us, and it's about a 5-week turnaround versus a 4-month turnaround with PSA. And the reason why CGC also is another viable option is there's no upcharge on the card. So let's say that Jordan, I'll use another card. Let's just say a Shohei Ohtani rookie card. Let's just say a $100 raw rookie card. If that thing gets a CGC 10 and now it's worth $600 or $800, there's no upcharge, whereas PSA would do an upcharge. And then I have to call the customer and say, hey, you know, it was $30, but now it's $45 or $50 or $100 because PSA is charging an upcharge fee. So CGC is another viable option. So you got to look at that gap and go, yeah, I know that it may be at this very moment 80% of value of a PSA 10, but because I paid the upgrade fee for PSA 10, so whatever margin was there, I ate anyways.
Yeah, and in addition, if more and more customers start using CGC, also that gap, in theory anyway, would close.
Correct. And I think also too, when you have a card go to PSA at the beginning of a baseball season or a basketball season or a football season, and the card doesn't come back until the very end of the year. I mean, imagine if you got Cam Scatterbo and you had him at the very first week. You're like, oh, he's a pretty good dude, Sacramento guy. Let's send it to CGC. And the card comes back in 5 weeks. You got that card back before he got hurt. I got people that sent in Cam Scatterbo cards back in August that I'm barely getting back from PSA now. And Cam's out for the year, and he's been out for the year for about 5 weeks now. So now you have a card that is graded well, but the market is soured because the guy's injured.
Yep.
Imagine if you had got that back, whatever you had sold it for as an active sale for a player that's doing really well on the field, that's not injured. These are the risks that you take. Now, I will tell you that CGC's vintage is a lot closer of a gap to PSA's vintage.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So you're going to see a lot of CGC cards from us go to get graded because we love our vintage cards and we love selling vintage cards. So I'm looking in the YouTube chateau right now. Peg Junk is saying SGC was the play until PSA bought them, which they did, and then they flattened them. It's like buying the second place company and saying, you know what we should do with this company? Probably just put them in the corner and say, color the book.
Yeah,
we'll take over from here.
Eliminate the competition.
Yes, exactly, and they've essentially done that. So CGC is an independent company, not owned by PSA and collectors. So they're looking at where do we fit in second place. I'm sure everybody's goal is to be number one, but being a solid number two is very lucrative too.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
There you go.
Yeah. By the way, speaking of PSA, is it true people are paying more for graded cards that bear PSA's newest grading labels? I was reading about this in The Athletic. Long story short, it appears that PSA now is grading more stringently now than they used to. So people are focusing on, and also the new labels have they call them, I think, the lighthouse labels.
Yeah.
They have the serial numbers.
Yeah.
Some people are more interested in the newer 10s, and there's some thought that some of the older 10s, like 2017 and earlier, if they were graded now, they might not be 10s, and so people are a little bit shying away from those. That's interesting to me, because you think once it's a 10, it's a 10.
You're just putting a lipstick on a pig. It's the same pig. Like, just calm down. At some point, you look at the grade versus the card. I will tell you that my vintage customers, collectors, and myself, I love looking at the card rather than the grade. The grade is secondary to me. Of course, I'm going to pay value based around the grade. But if this card looks wonderful, but has a stain on the back, but it looks great on the front, I might say I want that PSA 3 more than I would want this PSA 4 because it looks better. And I think vintage collectors look at the aesthetics of the card, not the card grade. Modern will rely on the card grade and any other aesthetics to the card label or case or all the other stuff that doesn't matter. It's the card that's encapsulated in it, not the jacket that the card is wearing.
Listen to this, Emran. The newest slabs, November 2024 to present, the newer slabs sell for 4.7% more than the overall average in that grade, according to Card Ladder. But they also the newer slabs sell for 21% more than the cards in the same grade that were graded before 2017.
Okay.
Isn't that interesting?
Okay. I mean, until you said that, and I am the expert, I didn't know that was the case. So if I don't know as an expert, how would everyday Joe collector know that?
Yeah,
right?
You would.
Unless you say it on a radio station with a blowtorch, like we have here at Sactown Sports 1140. And now all of you know.
Yeah, did you know?
7 of you know.
This was in,
including Tay by Shiki knows now too.
Yes, and Dublin. Cheerio. No, that's English. Sorry. Sorry about that.
Yeah, you took us off track, dude.
Yes, I did. I read today that at PSA, I don't know this for a fact, but it was in, I believe, The Athletic. If you're a grader, if you overgrade a card, you could be fired. You will never be fired for undergrading a card. That's what I read.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where'd you read that from?
I will find it for you.
That's wild.
Yeah. Isn't that interesting?
If it's true.
Uh-huh.
It's interesting even if it's not true. Yeah. Okay, guys. So, buy raw cards. That's what I would tell you. Buy raw cards, ungraded cards. You won't have to deal with this drama. The reason for grading being so successful has everything to do with internet sales. If I'm shipping a card to Florida from California, the person receiving it wants to know that they're buying a quality card and they're going to read that card grade. So a 9 is a 9, a 10 is a 10. It creates definitive value for that card based on previous sales. Mm-hmm. But if I bought a Johnny Unitas rookie card, you can't tell that it has a crease on it from a scan. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. You can't tell if it smells like smoke because it's been in a smoke-filled house.
Right.
You can't tell if it has a wax stain on it on a scan. Maybe you could see it, maybe you can't. So when you receive the card as a buyer, you're like, wait a minute. You told me it was in excellent condition and this is in poor condition. You told me it was in near mint, but this is in very good condition. So what ends up happening is there's the dispute from the person selling it to the person buying it. It's a lot like real estate with houses. I think my house is pristine. You think my house is a fixer. It's probably somewhere in the middle,
I think
right?
your house is very nice.
I
but
thank
I
you
get
very
your
much.
point.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, considering that you've never been invited. But it does make sense why the bushes have been stomped down near the window in the front of my house.
I can neither confirm nor deny that.
Size 7 shoe. Kind of weird, though. All right. So is that what size you wear?
No, not close.
You're like a billy goat. You're big body, tiny hooves. So yeah, I would just say that when it comes to this grading situation, this is what's frustrating a lot of people in our industry and in our hobby. And it really is up to them of whether or not they want to play this game or not. I'm forced to because that's what the customers demand. Mm-hmm. You know, but morally, I have a choice to decide when enough is enough. And I will share with you this. Do you mind if I share with you something real quick?
I was hoping you would.
Okay. So real quickly, when I was really young and I was only worried about money, I owned several businesses, and one of them was a cigarette website. I used to sell cigarettes on the website, even though I wasn't a smoker. Mm-hmm. And it was somewhat lucrative at that time. However, morally to me, I was like, I feel like I'm contributing towards stuff, and I don't want to do this. So I owned it for about 6 months, and then I sold it, even though it was profitable, because morally I just couldn't go with it. And I feel that way still with anything that I do. At some point, if this becomes and I don't mean PSA specifically, but maybe the grading industry, or maybe the cards, or maybe breaking, or maybe, some of these online streaming platforms, once it gets to a point where it doesn't make me feel good, it doesn't matter how much money it's making me, I'll walk away from it, because it's just the right thing to do. And it shows conviction in how I feel about things. And I will tell you that one of the ones that I've pretty much stayed on business for a while now is breaking boxes. I haven't done it. I've noticed that. I've tried to. A friend of our shop and a friend of this show is Rob Veras, the owner of Burbank Sports Cards, mm-hmm. and one of the most successful card shops in all of the world. And he is totally against breaking. He has a moral decision. He says, I don't want to break. It feels like it's gambling. It feels like it's a random chance, and people are spending a lot of money. And for every box, he believes there's 90% of them are a loser in their money. And he decides that that's not what he wants to do. He'd rather focus on the collecting aspect of the world. And that's his choice. And people have said, good for you.
You want to put those back on.
I know.
You're smarter when those are on.
Here, again, don't need to out me. But here he goes. I take off my glasses.
Well, everyone can see. YouTube audience.
In the middle of me taking off my glasses, and I go, and Rob makes a conviction. And then I do hello. I turn into... Yeah, when I wear my glasses,
there you go.
I'm a genius.
Now you're erudite.
Yeah. I'm nearsighted, meaning I can see well near, but I can't see well far. And you're sitting far enough away from me that now when I wear the glasses, it's a clear shot of who you are, what you look like. Immediately, that's why I took the glasses off.
Gotcha. Long ways to go for that one, but gotcha.
It was a meandering trail to an insult.
One thing to ask you before we get to this major Topps Chrome baseball news, Topps Chrome update baseball news. I was reading that Fanatics, of course, and Panini, there's a lawsuit, and Panini is claiming we can't compete with them because they have the licenses. At the same time, Panini
it's a monopoly.
Yeah.
And they're hoarding. Yeah, they're hoarding all the licenses.
And I understand that, but
the last time we saw that, Panini says, when we did it for the last 12 years.
Yes. Panini is also trying to sell. And when they present, everything about the company to potential buyers, like, we have a great future. We're in good shape. It's like, wait, you're just claiming you can't compete. So anyway, given all that, why doesn't Emerald Pilati put together a consortium and buy Panini?
Pass.
Why?
Go look them up on the Better Business Bureau and their rating.
Well, you can change all that.
Okay. It's like buying the restaurant that got everybody sick.
Uh-huh.
And then going, I'm going to buy it. We're going to turn around and turn it into a Michelin 5-star.
There you go.
Yeah, it's too far gone.
Really?
I would buy other companies. I would buy other companies. There's some legacy companies that I would buy. I won't say which ones in the space in order for me to leave that neutral.
Yeah.
But I would buy a Kodak. I would buy I would buy Levi's jeans because these are legacy brands that have a track record of history of people going, I loved my Levi's. I loved my Kodak I love my Polaroid camera, the instant camera. So you're buying brands that have legacy behind it that have a chance to be revived in a great way.
There's an intrinsic value.
I don't know if Panini's there or not.
Yeah.
Just because of years and years and years of people getting burned by them.
You and me and Anthony and Peg Junk put together a few bucks.
Let's do
you're
it.
the lead investor. Anthony, you're in, right? Yeah.
I don't know.
Absolutely.
I don't know what Peg Junk's net worth is, but let's just say we combine the three of us. Excuse me, we'd like to buy 0.0000. What's half of one? We'll take that percent, please.
Well, it's a start.
And even then, we'd be scraping all of our money together. Whitey would have no plasma left. He'd be donating that. I'd have one arm because they donated that. Like a purchase of a company, if you're going to spend that kind of money, either you start it from scratch and you start a new one, or you buy a legacy brand, or you buy one that's just really rocking and rolling and pay fair market value for that one.
I'll bet you some. I'm not making the case, but I bet you some would make the case that, Panini is a legacy brand.
It could be.
Yeah.
And its legacy brand is overseas. They were the ones as a 8-year-old, I was collecting the Panini sticker book, and it was soccer. So their legacy has always been overseas in the soccer football world. And they're going to continue that down the path. I think Topps may only have it exclusive in only a few of the leagues, but for the most part, Panini still has that. Panini will still have WNBA. They signed a long-term agreement with that. And remember also, while they may lose the licensing for the teams, they can still create San Francisco, but not San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah.
They can still do that. And the license of the Players Association is owned by Fanatics.
Do you know those are
Of
called
active.
pajama cards? Have you ever heard that term?
It's not. It's a stupid term, but it's not called that, but people somehow think that it's going to catch on.
Because
it's like Fetch from Mean Girls. It's not going to, Gretchen, it's not going to work.
Pajama cards are cards that are unlicensed because it looks like the players are wearing pajamas.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, nobody's going to call it that.
All right, so you're out. So me
But-
and
but-
Anthony and maybe Peg Junk.
I'm still in.
We need another investor. And Peg Junk actually hasn't committed either.
Peg Junk says he knows a guy. So
okay.
it says right here. I also wanted you to know that the license of active players associations are what Fanatics owns. That means that if Panini wants to negotiate with, I was going to say Joe Montana, but he signed with Fanatics as exclusive. Let's say our friend LaSalle Thompson. They wanted a LaSalle Thompson cards. They could call LaSalle and say, hey, LaSalle, would you like to do some stuff with Panini? And if LaSalle and them strike a deal, it's outside of the Players Association. So that way, they could do that deal if they wanted to. So they could do a retired players. They could do a lot of other things that they choose to. A lot like the way Leaf has. So Leaf has picked up a lot of the players. And Leaf has signed exclusives before. Damian Lillard, when he first came out in 2012.
Are they, Canadian?
Leaf?
Yeah.
They're based out of Texas.
Oh, okay. Same
But
difference.
they were.
Close.
Yeah, you're only about, I don't know, a whole country's width incorrect. But that makes sense.
Peachy is the Canadian one.
Correct.
Huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what we will do when we buy Panini, the way we'll compete, when we have a hobby box of whatever it is, we're going to have like 3 autographs, and they're not going to be autographs of some people that never even made it to the league. They're going to be good autographs. You're going to get bona fide hits. You pay a lot of money for 3 autos. You're going to get 3 good autos, Emran, and people will flock. They will flock to our product.
They're going to say, who do you get? I have Whitey Gleason, Jay Johnson, and Joey Chestnut.
No. You know, I mean, you get it.
Although I do have 2 Joey Chestnut autograph cards on our eBay right
that's
now.
nice.
True
That's
Sports Cards
all right.
916 is our
Yeah.
eBay. Go
Yeah.
check it out.
We're
Joey
not-
Chestnut.
We're not going to have those, relic cards, which is a jersey swatch of this is from somebody's shirt. We don't know who wore it.
We don't know.
when.
We went to Dick's Sporting Goods. We cut it up.
We're
and
not going to have that. In
We're
our
gonna have
product.
we're gonna have player worn.
Yes.
What's gonna happen is I'm gonna say, put on this shirt. And the player puts on the shirt. Take a picture.
Only
take off,
game worn.
Take off the game worn.
Only game worn.
Oof, that's gonna be tough. We're gonna have to tackle somebody in the
That's
tunnel
what it takes.
because Fanatics gets that stuff right away because they are the licensed
It's going
company.
to take us some time. to
It's like a
come with-
monopoly.
We got a plan.
It's like a monopoly that this company might have on.
Yeah. Speaking of game worn and patches and things of that nature, can I still land the Nick Kurtz rookie patch?
No, so 2025 Topps
Dang it.
Chrome update just came out this week on Wednesday. We have it on our shelf at the current to-the-minute price of $385 a box plus tax.
Ask for the Kyle Draper price.
The Kyle Draper price is, man, I'm going to need to get that at half off. Is that okay? So I only lose 200 on this box? Yeah, but you want a celebrity dude or what? No, I don't. And if you know one, Kyle, give me a call and let me know who that is. Because I already know Whitey Gleason. So
He said my name on the game last week, so I got to say thank you.
he called a good game the other day. He had to talk about anything except for the Kings.
Right.
When you're down 35 in the third quarter, it's like, Katie, what do I talk about? How about Whitey Gleason? Let's talk about him.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's the Kings missed again. The Kings missed again.
But I missed on Nick Kurtz.
You did.
Rookie pass.
So the 2025 product comes out, and as you know, last year, Paul Skeens was the chase, the biggest chase. Ellie De La Cruz was a close second. You had Jackson Churio, you had Jackson Merrill, you had other guys who had an MLB debut patch that was in there. The Skeens sold for over $1 million. The Ellie sold for $600,000.
And the skiing story was a kid got it, right? Like
Yeah, a kid got it from the LA SoCal area.
Yes,
you
that's
got
correct.
It.
Yeah.
So I think what ends up happening is Topps Fanatics wants to put in a redemption version of that card rather than the live version. So in hobby packs, they put in a redemption version of that card. In the Breaker's Delight, the thicker one, they come in a case that you can't search, feel, whatever. It comes in a case of like 20 cards. They're in a hard shell 2. So they could actually put the physical thick card in there without compromising whether or not somebody could tell that card is in there, where they can't do it in a hobby. So I think what they did was they go, well, Nick Kurtz is the biggest card that could potentially be pulled out of here. We want to know when it's pulled. And we not only that, but we really want it to be a 10 if possible, says Topps Fanatics, because that's the best thing that they could have is their hit card for the entire product go into a PSA slab at PSA 10, and they can't guarantee that when they're throwing it into a pack and it's bouncing around and all the other stuff. So if they keep it in their vault, when the redemption comes, they could take it out with kid gloves and make sure it goes to grading correctly, then enticing and creating more value, and it's a win for everybody, including the person that pulled it. It was pulled on a break by a breaker who is well known, but not like one of the top breakers. So it wasn't collusion. It wasn't one of those screaming, but it was pulled on stream, and the value projected is between $400,000 and $500,000
for the Nick Kurtz.
Correct. Now this happened last year with Ellie De La Cruz. Ellie De La Cruz was pulled the very first day of the product. Now this product is one of those where the box price will go up and down like a roller coaster. So now when I put that on my shelf at $385. People still want it. There's still some really great opportunities, like Roki Sasaki is still available.
But one big reason why someone might buy it
is
now
the
gone.
guy. Yeah, the guy, Nick Kurtz. If you have the very top guy now pulled out of the product, it's worth a little bit less because that chaser's gone.
Well,
so it's a lot like Deal or No Deal.
Yeah.
Right?
Weren't some people wondering last year when they were chasing the Skeens card whether, as far as we know, no one's pulled it, but it's possible that's not even available anymore and we don't know it, right?
The Skeens?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Well, I remember last year people were not sure.
Because they didn't heard about it.
Yeah.
But if Topps is smart, which they know how to make their money, it's put this in redemption so that way we physically have to be aware of it, right? Otherwise, if they put another debut patch in there, the physical card, which then I was just thinking to myself, does that mean that they'll never put in the Breaker's Delight some of the very top cards? Because they want to know that. So maybe there's MLB debut patches in there, but they're not, the very top guys. Because if you pull a Carson Wisenhunt, who's a local star here, and you pull that, that's great. People will be excited. You'll see it on there because they may have the physical card in the box, but you don't want to have somebody pull a Kurtz that happened to be, at a local card shop out of a hobby box and have it be live, because then nobody really knows about it until the person says something. Imagine it's you, Whitey. You're on social, but you're not incredibly active on it. But you pulled it. Unless you showed it to me or somebody else that was social media savvy, it may not get out there that it was there, right? So it's in their best interest to put it in a redemption. It's in Topps and Fanatics' best interest to put it in a redemption, so that way they've made aware of it and they can blast it to any news outlets they want to.
Does the price surprise you?
Of which part?
The value? I know it's not a price yet; it's a value.
And I'm just guessing, but I'm, is Kurtz as hot as Skeens last year? No, I think he's a tick below that, but I wouldn't say. But I wouldn't say it's far off.
There was something about the Skeens thing and it's because of his girlfriend, and obviously Pittsburgh, not a big market.
But
he was
Pittsburgh's
so
throwing that crazy offer at him with 20 years of
yeah.
season tickets and come on the field. So that increases the value, because when they started adding all that stuff up together, they're like, well, the value is what's being offered for it. And the Pirates are offering $1 million worth of value for it.
Right.
You had people that were out there saying, I'll pay $800,000 for it. So if you have people stating what they're willing to pay for a card, then it's highly likely that is the value of the card.
Right.
So that's kind of, I would just say that the Nick Kurtz says, in my opinion, floor is probably 400,000. But you're going to have some big numbers still. Roki Sasaki, when that one's pulled, I mean, you've got a budding star on the back-to-back World Series champions in the second largest market in the United States, and a Japanese player. So you have the Japanese contingent that might want to buy that too. So you have a lot of people that will have interest in that card. It might supersede what Nick Kurtz might be. So you have still some big names in there. You have James Wood. You have Dylan Cruz. Those ones are still available at time of this show.
And that's a pretty hot product, right? Topps Chrome Update Baseball, as we wait for Topps Chrome Basketball to hit.
Yeah. And that's
taking
going to be...
pre-orders yet on that?
I can't.
Okay.
And it's not that I don't
somebody
want...
is, right? I think
I don't...
Fanatics, you might be able to...
I don't know who's doing pre-orders for that stuff, but when as we're talking about 25 Topps Chrome Basketball, we're looking at, probably $500 plus on a hobby box and close to $1,100 for a jumbo.
Woo!
It's crazy. So, and because it's such a volatile pricing, I can't lock in a price, because let's say that we went on shelf we projected to be on shelf at 500. I'm just making up a number, 500. And then come to find out that I see a secondary rebuy to where, like, okay, if you want to refill on this, and after you go through your couple of cases, the boxes are now $550. Well, I have to take that into consideration and go, wait a minute, I can't go on the shelf at 500 because the rebuy to restock it, I'm going to have to pay $550 for. So I'm literally losing $50 per box on the rebuy before I even put the thing on the shelf. So I have to wait until that day to kind of come up with a price. So it's unfair for me and the consumer to come up with a price before it goes on the shelf until we have it settled to know where we're at. So that's why I can't take pre-orders. It's not that I don't want to.
So that'll be bigger than the Update Baseball when Topps Chrome Basketball hits.
Remember, I don't know when they're going to jump in the Cooper Flag debut patch. It could go into regular. You said that they were making a Topps Chrome Update Basketball.
What apparently, yeah.
It could go to that, or it could go to Topps Chrome. I don't know.
Yeah.
But you figure, like, if you have a chance at a Cooper Flag NBA debut patch in Topps Chrome on the release, holy, we're talking about $1,500 for a jumbo box, $2,000 for a jumbo box, because you have in basketball, there's just less humans on the court. So with baseball having 26 people on their roster, basketball having 12 people on their roster, and then you have a debut patch for any rookies of that year, there's just mathematically less debut patches in basketball than there will be in baseball, which then makes them more valuable. So
we also had a big sale of a Kobe card, right?
$1.22 million is what that Kobe card went for.
Why? What is it about that card that made it so?
It was a limited edition. It was out of the exquisite. It was just one of those cards, a legacy card, and it's just too bad that Upper Deck. I'm not going to make a play at Upper Deck, nor do I have the money to. But if I was to make a play, I'd make a play on Upper Deck.
Let's go.
Because
Peg Junk and Anthony are going to beat you to it.
People have such great memories of Upper Deck. It's such a great product. They have some legacy products like Exquisite and Ultimate and SPX and SP Game Used and SP Authentic, SP Game Floor. They just had such awesome cards.
Wasn't Upper Deck in many ways a victim of the junk wax era? That was kind of their sweet spot, and they just
They started in '89.
Yeah.
Right? And talk about being right from the jump. To choose Ken Griffey Jr. as your first card to ever be created, to be card number one, and to have that iconic photo, that's how you do it, right? That's how you come in with a bang and create a legacy. Imagine if it was like, Todd Zeal! Like, yeah. And the ninth guy was Griffey. He happened to be in the set, but like, they did it right.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times people will look at it and go, well, Panini's first Prism was in 2012 for basketball. So I'm going to hoard that stuff because it was the first of ever. So a lot of people will hoard the first of ever any product, knowing that maybe one day it may be something that's like, well, remember when Panini had Prism for basketball?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a box of that sealed. Like, whoa! Right? I have a Gem Mint PSA 10 Griffey card, 89 Upper Deck, first card ever in the run. Whoa! So it's a lot like that.
Speaking of junk wax, I'm hearing through my sources that there's another junk wax rip night coming to True Sports Cards. Are these rumors true?
The rumors are true. Set your schedules for January 17th from 5 to 7 p.m. there at the store. You can go to truesportscards.com right now and look up the word junk wax, and you'll see the tickets. There are 49 tickets available. Jay Johnson just bought his yesterday. So $20 gets you 20 packs. We'll put some pizza, some sodas, some bathroom availability. All available for just $20, and we sit there.
Is this the second one?
This is the second one.
I went to the first one, and everyone there had an amazing time.
Yeah,
truly.
It's fun to rip 1990 Fleer.
Especially when one of the people who's in there is walking around and going, yeah, well, what do you got? Okay, you got me? I'll sign up
We
for
had
you.
Matt Noakes there.
Yeah,
We had our
yeah.
friend Matt Noakes came, and he was watching people rip and go, did you pull my card? Did you pull my card? And he signed autographs and hung out with people. It was a great time. So I'm working on the second player right now. We'll see who it is.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see who it is before I buy my ticket.
Well, you got to be very discerning with your $20. Meanwhile, we have Impeccable on the shelf for $1,500 for 8 cards. But yeah, $20.
Yeah.
And it's a great time. You get to hang out with all of us. Will you be there?
I probably will.
Celebrity in house.
Yes, I had a
Kyle
great
Dribble
time.
will go there if I pay him $20.
I had a wonderful time. I really did. And just seeing everybody, I don't know if you might do it differently. I know last time you did it, you had people lined up, and there was a table with all the different junk wax that you could choose from. Because what is it? How many packs do I get with my $20?
20 for $20.
So people were lined up, and then they were just
Now we may have to do something different.
I know
So
you explained
I
that,
may
yeah.
have to do to where you have
a random distribution.
Here's
of some
what I'll
kind?
do. I will put out the cards just like we did last time, so they'll be sitting in their boxes, and it'll be a serve yourself buffet of 15 of those cards. Of
Okay.
15 of those packs.
Right.
And then I'm going to hand you a stack of 5 packs.
Yeah.
Because those are some premium ones. So like everybody's like 93 upper deck.
Yeah.
And so like the first 5 people got those cards, but then everybody else
People at
couldn't.
the back were getting like, Alf cards. That was,
Oh,
hey,
my
Willie.
Desert Storm, thanks. Shall I eat the gum? No. So the point of it is that
there were no Alf cards.
It's a lot like because they were pulled early. That's why there was no Alf
they
cards.
didn't last long.
So what ends up happening is like we'll have the buffet for you to choose from, and then we'll have the carving station where we carve off 5 other packs at the end.
Oh, okay.
Right? Mm-hmm. And then they go, "Can I get more?" And you go, and the carver, I'll probably put AJ on the case. AJ will look at you with a who farted face, kind of looking at you like, "How dare you even ask me for more than this?
Right.
This is all you can eat.
Yeah.
These 5 packs, buddy. Don't now go. Stop embarrassing yourself."
Yeah. It
And
sounds confrontational, but it's actually a lot of fun.
It might be with AJ. AJ might look at you and go, "Hey." But yeah, we can have some fun with it. And 20 packs, $20. We're all ripping together. It's a good time. Hey, that's our closing music.
What? We just got started.
Let's do this next week.
Okay.
Let's do it this week and every week for the next year.
A quick one. We may not have time to answer. Phillip Rivers starting tomorrow. Is this going to impact his rookie card?
Whole bunch of oh my foot! I pick up Beckett out of the crib and I can't even function. I'm only a few years older than Rivers, and he was sitting on his couch.
Yeah.
A week ago. Mm-hmm. Shout out Phillip Rivers for all of us old guys. Good luck tomorrow. I hope you do really well. I could care less if the Colts win or not, but I hope that they win for Phillip Rivers' sake to show that the old guys can still do it.
Buy up the Rivers rookie cards. They're going to
Yes,
skyrocket.
they're gonna skyrocket.
If he does anything, which he probably won't.
I would invest in Ben Gay right now because that guy's going to be that or Icy Hot. That's definitely going to go up because old guys like us are going to think that we could do something.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Emron.
Hey, let's do it again next week.
Once again. Yes.
Same time?
Yeah.
I'll meet you right here.
All right. We'll see you then. See you back here. And we'll see you at the True Sports Cards store.
Talking about True Sports Card Store, yeah. At Elk Grove Honda, our recipe for happy holidays is to think Happy Honda Days. Let's explain. Happy is a good thing. We all like happy. Happy stands for quality, reliability, comfort, design, peace of mind, valuable resale, and a lot more important words. And days is how long you